Hello, my dear Virgo. Welcome to February. This is going to be your general reading for the month of February 2021. But just know that if you stumble upon this reading, if you're finding it out of order or in a different timeline, don't worry about that. We are in the perfect place at just the right time, and this message was meant for you. So first, we're going to go ahead and clear the energy space. We are currently in the state of Imbolc, which is a Wheel of the Year Sabbath, right smack dab in the middle of Yule, which is winter solstice, and also the spring equinox, which is Ostera. So we're in this place now of hibernating, of nurturing our goals, moving forward but staying still at the same time, right? So we're focusing on the element of fire, as you see here, also of earth. And we're going to be calling upon the energy of the burrowing animals. So squirrels, even foxes, badgers, bears, anything that burrows, gathers, and harvests for a hibernation period. We're going to be really focusing on their energy now. We're going to call upon your archangels, your spirit guides, your ancestors to guide this reading and help us to get a clear view into what's going on with you, Virgo. So let's start in the center here. First, what I'll do is go about the positions so you know where I'm going. This is your center, of course, which will be the focus of your reading. Then we have the past, your mindset, your spirit realm messages from your spirit guides, and then your forward movement in that corner there. This is a Lenormand spread, and it's read just like a sentence. So it reads from left to right, and it will show us the kind of the storyline of what's going on. So right in the center of your reading, we have strength. This is about getting to the top of the mountain, seeing that you've made it. And I love how there's like a hand outstretched here where it's just like, oh, this is what this is like, you know, having the sword up on your back and just being relaxed and feeling neutral, but also seeing this glowing, beautiful light that's coming from the inside of this mountain. It's like sort of a conquering type energy, very positive, very powerful. And in the past, you have been working on your rhythm, okay? Not going too hard, too fast, focusing on taking life in strides, also a matter of making life into a dance. That's been very important for all of the signs thus far in all of these readings for this time period, which is taking the world in strides, taking your goals in intervals, and making small baby steps and really enjoying those baby steps. It seems like you are very wanting very much to be at the top of that mountain and looking down on how far you've come, but you are still taking strides up the mountain. Okay, and we see that repeated here with rites of passage. Here's your mountain that you are climbing, and we go from the red road with a cradle board here, which is how they held their babies, all the way through to where we have an altar here, the spirit goes on, and then we have the blue road. So there's a spiritual aspect to this card. Yes, of course, the rites of passage is all about proving yourself, kind of going through this sort of challenge, challenging yourself to prove that you are worthy, where the spirit realm has to say here, of course, make the world into a dance. Just imagine that the drum beat is playing on in the background and you're just dancing through life and enjoying the feeling of the sun on your skin and enjoying what it feels like to just let your feet move you rather than you moving your feet. And this kind of a conundrum of being led, being guided, and allowing yourself to truly feel that way. Excuse me. And then we have here the whirling rainbow, which is so lovely. It's been coming through in all of the readings in one way or another. This is the fifth world of peace, You hear that the astrologers are talking of the age of Aquarius. The religious folks are talking about the second coming. We have Christ consciousness, 5D consciousness, single consciousness. Everybody's raving about this time that we're alive right now. And it's this overcoming of the challenge of Earth, of being governed, of feeling like we're fed up and completely done with the way that things have been. You know, you're seeing a lot of, from, excuse me, from 2020 and what have you, that's talking about what parts of normal are actually worth getting back to, right? So this is a prophecy when, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. When the white settlers came to North America and they started on the Trail of Tears and really pushing the native people out and deprivating them of the buffalo and killing the buffalo at large, that was such a sacred symbol. So the prophecy goes that the elders of that time, as they saw themselves being stripped of their pride, being stripped of their strength, watching, you know, kind of sand fall through their fingers, the elders of that time got a vision or a prophecy, yes, a vision, because we see it here, okay, that there will come a time where the third generation of the white settlers would wear beads in their hair and colors on their skin, and they would make the world green again by talking, you know, sharing spiritual truths, by going on vision quests, going through dark nights of the soul, going through what religion means, what spirituality means, and going back to the original way of being. So quite beautiful there. And this is in your future, Virgo. So you're being called to be a part of this movement, be a part of this transition team. So that's a really lovely start to the reading to go around in the circle that way. Now let's see what's going on in your storyline. Okay, there's a decision to be made. There's a choice here that seems to be weighing heavily on you. Then we have your intuition, and there's definitely a need here to trust that intuition because it is in reversed. Then we have also the fish, which is abundance, also in reverse. Okay, the death card, at least we have one upside right, and it is death. Okay, wonderful. So a transition is going through here. You're going from one thing to another. So from deciding to follow your intuition and go for it, you're being a little bit more grounded, a little bit more steady as you move forward here. Still not as quickly as you might like. This is fast moving energy, and the Rider always brings messages of good tidings, messages of things coming through, but it was in the reversed. And then we have the clovers in reversed as well, which is a short-lived but very celebratory energy. The four-leaf clover, as you know, is a very sacred Irish tradition that is for luck. And it's partially because most of these are going to be three-leaf, so it's rare to find a four-leaf. But it's even more rare because clovers only blossom for a very short time and then they dwindle and die. So there's a short window, a little tiny period where you can find that four-leaf clover. So you will see me flip these cards right side up at some point once we go over their meanings and we go over how you can rectify that reversal card. That's when I will flip them back over at some point. But first, we're going to go through the circle again. We're going to go ahead and dive deeper into your past. What is perhaps being released, or what is something that was previously suppressed that Virgo is now awakening to? There's an ideology here, I think. Okay, yes, you are on this quest, and this could very well be the part of the Whirling Rainbow prophecy, that part of you that is on this transition team. It says, be bold and mighty forces will aid you. Take action. Good luck favors the brave. Yes, I love that. I love it so much. Right here with your intuitive way of creating and manifesting abundance. Okay, so calling to you very clearly. Then we also have clarity here at the bottom of the deck. And it says, banish the fog of illusion, open your eyes to the truth, remember the perfection of who you are. Another dragon here. So huge, massive energies. We have the Fae here, which is just kind of a fun different way of looking at spirituality. I think this deck is just so fun and so descriptive, I suppose, very bright and colorful. So you're on this quest, you are calling upon your strength, but at the same time, you're also calling upon clarity. And we see that here as well, because the bottom of the deck here is seeking and finding on a vision quest. So you're most definitely blowing through this illusion, which can very easily be described as this three-dimensional space that we do live in. Us humans, we have to be three-dimensional at the same time as we're being, you know, enlightened, or going through dark nights of the soul, or going through the spiritual awakening. We're also in the 3D, paying bills, going to work, etc. So there's a balance here that you are becoming. All right, and now let's go into your mindset, into your goals. What is it that we need to focus on for Virgo? Where does Virgo need to focus? Okay. At home. Very cool. Very good energy for you. Let's clarify that. What do we need to do at home? Magic stream. Okay, so this is about renewal. It's time to have a way to renew yourself, to fill your cup up, to go home and feel truly and undoubtedly rejuvenated. Okay, very good. It could also be that some of you have a goal of bringing your work home, maybe working from home, or creating some sort of a remote job. And at the bottom of the deck here, we have coming to life. So we have a butterfly here, of course, transformation. Then we have this like orb that this person is holding, and it's very bright and moon-like. It's also very much the same nod here to following your intuition. When you follow your intuition, you are no longer part of this 3D statue. You're able to instead begin to dance. And we can look here at even just how the arms are the same position, this dance of life, right? Where we make a ritual of joy. So I actually love this so much that I'm going to place that here, because I think that is also going to be how you're going to connect farther to your spirit realm, to your divine sources of your choosing. So what do we need to keep in mind here for Virgo as they move, let's see, into this new way of being? Okay, the attraction of opposites. So this is a fire energy. It is the attraction, seduction, temptation, magnetism, passion, meeting halfway, a coupling, and possibly even sexual union. Very awesome. This is the first love type card that we have gotten so far. So I think this could be romanticizing with your life. Let's get a clarifier here for the love. And the gentle approach. Okay. Penetrating. Pun intended, perhaps. A soft approach, faith, moderation, a subtle but deep influence, understanding, and nonviolence. So this is very much about a water energy. So you all are earth signs. Now we have water here, we have fire there. So kind of a mixed message if you're in a relationship. But in terms of career and moving forward, I would read this as going for your passion, following your soul's purpose, that magnetism, that energy that can be only explained with, you know, how powerful that creation force of sex can be, right? It is creation, it's the creation of life, but you also need to be careful not to go too gung-ho, because we have the anchor right next to the rider here, where you are getting nowhere fast, okay? So, at the bottom of the deck now, we have determination, no compromises, unwavering focus, inner resolve, integrity, a test of character, and self-examination. And I really love this card because it's such a stern character, and it's like You wouldn't want that person looking at you, right? But here he is, staring you down, being like, hey, no compromises, focus, get your inner resolve. And this is a test of character. And we mentioned this here as well. You're tested on your rites of passage. So kind of an interesting duplicate message there for you. Now what I want to see is what parts of you are being expressed at this time in the public arena, the public self. Reflection. Okay, so we've heard that a couple times here. You are very much focusing inward on yourself, and I think most of it is, do I dare say, the attitude. I don't want to sound harsh or like you have the attitude, but it's more an outlook. It's a time to be called for being graceful. So we have similar messages here. Gentle and graceful is going to be the most beneficial way for you to move forward. And then that resoluteness, which says, look at yourself, see how far you've come, and realize that no excuses, no compromises will get in your way. And start to see that as a beautiful propelling forward here on this quest that you're embarking through. Then we're going to go into what is the momentum? What momentum is driving Taurus, or I'm sorry, Virgo? Virgo forward. What is the momentum? Yes. Okay, the ability to never miss. How would it be if you were told that you would not fail? What if, you were told that you were the king and that no matter where you guided your arrow, it would always, always find its mark. Okay, so again, coming back to trusting yourself. And then we have this endurance here. And I'm actually really happy this came up because I find it so similar here to both of these, actually. This one always reminds me of a rites of passage. This is like being on the night-long stay or the week-long stay out in the wilderness while, a parent or guardian is not too far away to make sure you don't die, but they are somewhat judging you on your ability to be self-sufficient, to be self-reliant, and to keep yourself balanced in order to survive and come back a grown man or grown woman. The ability to maintain strength and endurance as you go through and find your way. And it leads you to feeling completely and totally in control of your life. This is the seer, which is a combination of the high priestess and also the magician. So you have all of the tools here in your trinkets. You have all of the talismans. You have this sacred pool of water that's likely very ancient and has been used for, eons or what have you. And so you're being asked to really look at yourself, again, with the reflection here. So duplicate message of reflection, but it's more to see your superpowers than it is to see how you've done in the past when you've been challenged, because we all do, right? We all have challenges of some kind. But let's see here. What are the aspects of you? What aspects of self are awakening to aid you at this time, Virgo? Unity and union. Very good. Okay, so again, with this sort of attraction here, these are very similar cards. Even the colors are very much the same. I mean, how often do you see green, purple, and orange look good? And here it is 2 times. So there's 2 energies here. You may be feeling called to a fire sign, or you may be feeling very fiery towards somebody in your vortex. But this is an aspect of you, right? So for the sake of it being a general reading, we're going to go with the fact that you are balancing your male and female sides, your water and your fire, your ability to be fired up and passionate and strong in your pursuit of happiness, in the rites of passage, challenging you to move forward in the best, most powerful way possible. But then also your ability to balance your chakras, to look at your past and see the transformation there. And also, I just can't with these colors. I mean, what? Green, blue, orange. It's insane. I mean, it's crazy. But you're looking upwards to your higher sources as well. As you're balancing yourself, you're asking for assistance there. And I think that is just absolutely beautiful. So there is the union here with You Cannot Fail. I'll bring that card back at some point. And then we have the journey. So again, with the rites of passage, the mountain that you're climbing, of course it's figurative, climbing a mountain, but this is also kind of like having two choices. Going the dark side would be more the intuitive way of being, where the light side is a little bit more of that masculine side that follows the light of the sun, the light of passion, where the light of the moon is more of that intuition and trust, right? So you're balancing those two sides. And I find that very inspiring. And, excuse me, the bottom of the deck here is this beautiful four, a four of air. And this is about managing your mind in a very cool, collected way. You see these two boxes here are organized, but they're organized in two separate ways. We have one here that is, all of the colors are in one corner, and then we go from smallest to biggest, and on this side it's very symmetrical, and they've split everything in half so that everything can be very balanced. And then we have like a clock here, we've got all sorts of like mechanisms going on, right? So it's an interesting way of balancing knowledge and balancing parts within you that are making sense of things as you climb this mountain, go on this journey, test your endurance, etc. Okay, let's grab some animals. I'm going to make some space. And then what I always do is pull the cards together, and I will tell a story from start to finish. But first, let's get the animals on the table. What animals are assisting Virgo? So firstly, we have the ant and patience. I love that. I feel that patience is a little bit all over your reading as well, especially with these two next to each other. You don't usually see an anchor that stops you and the rider that begins a journey right next to each other. So there's also a nod here to strength and the ability to carry 3, sometimes 5 times your weight in food or resources. So, okay. And then we have a butterfly, which we know is transformation, and we have that right here next to the fire and the water. So let's get a clarifier on that butterfly. What's going on with the transformation here? Diversion with the opossum. Interesting. So perhaps there's a situation of being distracted, of second guessing yourself, of being afraid to move forward some way or another. Could be some self-sabotage going on, because it seems to me that the quest is quite important to you. It's important for you to win. It's important for you to go for it and to go for it all the way. But when it comes to self-reflection, I believe that you tend to not notice your strengths, but instead notice the other things. Okay, you know, you need rejuvenated. Oh, well, shame on you, right? You have to take your time and go with the flow. Oh, shame on you. Okay, so you're sort of deceiving yourself and stopping yourself in your tracks before you even get a chance to begin. So I'm going to pull one more card. I know we have so many on the table, but I just want to see a clarity card of what you need to be focusing on at this time and what's going on with that transformation and diversion. Okay, so 2 cards came out from this deck here. And they are, new beginnings is upside down. So as I suspected, I think that some of you are just reluctant to get started. And then we have leadership here, which was right side up. So a leadership role goes with strength here. So it seems to me that you have completed your rites of passage. You have proved yourself worthy of the quest, if you will, but you are a little bit afraid to tell people what it is that you've seen, or perhaps you're ashamed of how the endurance training went. You know, you came back from the journey with scars, so now you can't fight again. And it's not like that. It's more like the warrior with the scars is the one most fit to lead in this new beginning, this new transition into a new world, which relies on abundance and allows the people to manifest their goals and their dreams, and having everything readily accessible. Okay, so it's an interesting conundrum here. I'm going to put leadership here with the quest, new beginnings here with the fifth world of peace, and then at the bottom of the deck here we have change. So there's a little bit of a fear of changing, there's a fear of standing still as well. But I think there's going to come a point very soon here where you realize that the pain of staying all cramped up is not worth the pain of opening up. And once you open and start to blossom and watch yourself move forward and feel yourself excel, you will realize that the pain of staying closed up in that little bud before the blossom happened was, you know, it was preparing you, and it was worth the wait, but it was not worth the second guessing or the fear. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is get all of the cards together so that I can tell a story from start to finish. As I do that, as I grab all your cards to have them together, please take this time to like, comment, and subscribe. Also check out that description box. I teach all sorts of different spiritual modalities, so check that out. I have a free Facebook group full of spiritual entrepreneurs. I also have an Akashic Records course that I teach, which may be coming up for you a little bit. I haven't dove super deep into anything here that screams Akashic Records, but some of you may feel called to that. Of course, check that out in the description box. I'll be right back. Okay, my dear Virgo, you have been on a little bit of a quest. You've been on a long, hard road, and you have been gathering up your strength, and you have been climbing mountains, and you have been testing your own endurance as you go about this journey, as you go about this life. So there's a part of you that really wants to go quickly, and you're willing to go to very great lengths. This is at the bottom of the deck, so I'm going to grab it here. To whip yourself into shape is what you think you're doing, but really you are exhausting yourself by trying to go, go, go. And instead, it's actually creating burnout, where you actually realize that trying to beat yourself into submission a little bit is causing you not to go faster, but instead to fall down and to lose a little bit of time that could have been spent going forward at full speed. You instead have drawn the anchor. So the goal here is to find a rhythm that feels good to you, and to embrace that rhythm with a sense of understanding that you are rejuvenating yourself. And with that rejuvenation, with that feeling of filling your cup up, you are also inviting your higher sources to come in and aid you. And now you're in a position to feel well rested. It's kind of like stretching your legs before a big game, or stretching before hiking, or what have you. And then you feel that much more ready because you are in balance with yourself. Your highs and lows are balanced together. Your perception is on point. You are able to see yourself in a position of balancing the fire and the water. So the passion and the drive and the endurance and all of the things that you've been sort of training yourself for are able now to all work in unison. Let me see here. And with that, you feel so much more aligned with this change, because up until now, it's felt a little bit unnerving to go forward. So what ends up happening is, up until now, right, because we're done with this, we've been talking ourselves out of it because we're almost a little bit afraid to ask for help, perhaps, or open up ourselves to another way of thinking. And up until now, we've been wanting to think our way out of it and propel ourselves forward in a way that is a little bit forceful. And we have this guide here who's just like, you know, there's two types of bosses out there. There's that boss that's just like, oh, well, you got the job done. Well, it's about time. And then there's a boss that's like, hey, welcome to work. How was your weekend? Who would you rather work for, right? So yes, there's this aspect here of no compromises, do your job, do it well, make the changes, go for the goal, think yourself away, you know, or think your way out of it, be that steadfast person. But you have to balance that with a certain patience, with a certain humanity when it comes to reflecting on yourself. Be careful with your self-reflection, Virgo, because you are changing your world. You are manifesting based upon that reflection. So if you look in the mirror or the pool of water or what have you, and you see that resoluteness and how could you not be done already? Or how are you not all the way finished? You know, you're actually robbing yourself and allowing yourself to remain a stone statue. And that is very much not the vibe that we're going for, okay? We don't want to be the statue. We want instead to awaken. Okay, so avoid anything that makes you feel cold as stone, because that is how I feel this person really looks. He's like, arms are folded. There's just no way of getting through this except for to push and push and push and push. So it's time now to have a little bit of a gentle approach. Think of yourself as the subtle river going through the Grand Canyon, still getting things done, still very much making progress, but in a non-violent way, with moderation and faith leading the show. And that's when you find yourself really soaring, because there's balance now, because you are embracing this clarity here that says, banish the fog of illusion, open your eyes to the truth, remember the perfection of who you are. You have to be gentle with yourself. Yes, the bold and be bold and mighty forces will come and aid you. Take action and good luck favors the brave. Yes, of course, but also open your eyes to the fact that you are already ready for this, that you are the king of your own reality, or queen, but this is a king, and that you have this impeccable aim. You will always find that no matter what you choose, it will be correct. You don't have to go back and forth anymore and second guess yourself, but you do need to open yourself up to new possibilities. You do have to understand that change is on the horizon. You have to understand that your intuition is guiding you. So it isn't always action, action, action. Sometimes it's clarity, understanding, filling your own cup up, coming home, resting your legs, letting yourself come back to being human again, and then fulfill your quest, and then go on this new beginning. And what you'll find is that you have that much more energy and people just follow you. They do. They just feel drawn to your energy. They just feel like they want to follow you where you're going. And you're just like, how did this happen? And it's because you hold a lot of luck. And it's time to focus on the positive here. Call upon the energies around you. Whatever it is that you believe in, just call upon it. Let it engulf you. Let it swallow you up. Because you're meant for greatness. This is abundance. The fish in both Taoism and Chinese philosophy, and also in the Lenormand, are all about abundance. And what better way to conclude a reading but with new beginnings, leadership, good luck, and abundance? I mean, could you ask for anything better? But wait, there is better. It's this card here. One of the more powerful, more influential, best pieces of paper I've ever held. And it's all for you here, Virgo. You are part of the transition team. You are here to awaken old traditions, to unleash ancient knowledge, to manifest your dreams and desires and see them come through for you. And then I also mentioned the Akashic Records, and this is at the bottom of the deck. And I'm not lying, I swear it's sitting right there staring at me. So you may be feeling called to something like this. The Akashic Records is the space between particles. Einstein called it the A field. And he said that understanding that space would mean that you can read the mind of God. So there's a knowledge that's stored in stones. And that's why it's been so well revered on all the oracle cards, stones, pentacles, what have you, is because there's knowledge there. There's a foundation for new beginnings. There's a foundation for knowledge, and you're able to access it. So this is something that I teach. If you are called to this, which it seems that many of you may be, I do believe that it's going to lead you through the great mystery. And this is exactly what happens. It's a meditation practice that teaches you how to go in and out of that consciousness all the time so that you can manifest in a new way, in a new possibility, with new heights and sights to see. And it's absolutely beautiful. All right, you all, check out that description box. There's so much there. I have free services. I have paid services. I'm here to help you. I'm here to see you succeed on this journey. I want to see you succeed here, Virgo. I think you all are doing fantastic. You have so many things that you are looking to do. You are creative and you are innovative, and you're trying to do a lot all at once. That's okay, and it's so well revered, and you are so good for doing it. But now fill up your cup. Allow yourself to rejuvenate and look into what calls your soul. That might be a break from the norm. Going into meditation, visiting spirit guides, visiting past lives, going farther into your dreams that you ever thought possible because you have rejuvenated your soul. I hope that this is what you choose to do as you embark on this change and you embark on this challenge in front of you. And I will dive deeper with you next month. We'll see you then.